All right, everybody. I'm recording my first ever video or interview here. As you can see, I've got Big Ross in here with me. Big Ross, it's a pleasure to have you on here. Hopefully this goes well. You're my test subject, so we'll see how it goes. If you would, just give yourself an introduction here. Let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
I'm 53. Been a gamer since about 1977 when I got my first Atari. I've been hooked on video games ever since. Played on console up until about, I would say 10, 11 years ago when I built my first PC. And then the streaming got popular and I wanted to test the waters out there. End up having to get a new PC built and to do the things that I needed and wanted to do. And then I've just kind of been hooked on the streaming aspect of it ever since. It has grown, my platform has grown far greater than I ever could imagine. And I think, the more that it grows, the more that I get into it. But that's pretty much, how I've gotten to the point to where I've gotten, so far. I've just, gaming has been a part of my life ever since I was a kid. So
as far as your gaming part, you answered kind of one of my questions already, is how long you've been gaming. What is your main game that you like to play? Like, what type of genre do you like to play most of the time?
Well, right now it's Call of Duty because some of the open world games, they haven't come out with new updated versions. Like I was a huge Elder Scrolls fan, which is open world. I'm a huge Witcher fan, which is again another open world type of game. So when those updates come out and games like that, those are, I like playing those. I'll stream those whenever the updates come out. But here recently, it's just been Call of Duty. I was in a group before I started streaming that did, we were, a clan. So we did the Sniper Elite series. So every time a Sniper Elite series would come out, we would, add a server and take on that. So I was part of that world for a while. And then that series kind of fizzled out and we kind of broke up. And then I just kind of went out on my own and started playing with, different ways to stream, adding just screens where I needed to, and just, learning everything from the bottom up. So that's just, watching a lot of videos, watching a lot of other streamers. And, one of the things that I thought of is, and looked at the time was there's not a lot of older streamers out there.
Right.
That has progressed some. And, now you've got an older base of streamers that are out there and putting out quality materials, because my streams, it's game based, but it's also, I want my streams to be entertaining. I don't want to be sit here just talking to people on the game. I want to interact with the people that are in there.
In your chats. Right.
In the chat. So, you've got to, create an environment to where, they're going to want to come in and hang out and talk and on a variety of different subjects.
So touching on that right there, when you say you want to interact with your chatters, that leads into another one of my questions I had for you. How many followers do you think you have right now on an approximation?
I've just broke the 19,000 follower mark on TikTok.
Okay.
My Twitch, I just broke the 1,200 follower mark. And it took me a lot longer to gain traction and momentum on Twitch.
Right.
I just gained my affiliation, which means I can start collaborating with companies and things of that nature if they would be interested. I didn't get affiliated just because of that, because I'm not a full-time streamer. So it was kind of a, I'm gonna do this regardless if I make a dime off of it. It was just,
Right.
So I've got to that point. I've got Kick, I've got YouTube, and I've got the new streaming service for Facebook. But Facebook is kind of the same followers that I have on TikTok, so it's kind of redundant to do both of those. But
Yeah, it's kind of like a same type of service, so I can see where the same followers would be on that.
Right. So to cut it down and just keep it simple, I'm just going to try to stick to two services right now, which will be Twitch and TikTok. I just got the Eclipse GG software that will help. It takes, it'll take your clips of your entire stream, and then you can use AI editing and things of that nature that'll help put content out. And there's several other ways you can do that without having to spend hours and hours of editing yourself. So, because, again, I have a full-time job. I don't have time to sit back and do a lot of that editing myself. So I rely on those type of apps.
So tell us about a stream that you had that stuck out in your mind, that was really memorable, that something happened in it that you'll never forget.
Well, I mean,
other than meeting me. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean,
no, I mean, just I find the most when I stream. I find my streams are most busy weekend mornings when I get up, because I don't stream during the week until about 4:30 to about let's just say 4 and 5 o'clock to about 8 to 8:30. When that's the busiest time to go online. So yeah, I don't have as much volume there, but when I go online on the weekend mornings, I mean, I could have up to 30 to 60 people in one stream.
And that's when I first met you. I was at work one day waiting on one of my drivers to come in. I had to give him some information, and so I opened TikTok, just looking through some videos, and there you are. You popped up, and I don't know if you even remember the first time I seen you. I was like, "Hey, it's great seeing another older person doing this stuff," because like you said, you don't see a lot of the older people. So, and I'm 51, you're 53, so I mean, we're right there in the same area that people of our age would like to see more people do.
Right. And, I've always kind of been the kind of the class clown, so to speak. So, that's one of the reasons why I just, my streams are just a raw version of me. I don't act any different on the streams than I would if you saw me out on the street.
Right.
So, I like to connect with the viewers that way. And, at least, try to bring everybody in to have a good time. And, that's some of the feedback I've been getting during some of the streams. To answer a bit of your question is, kids to adults tell me, Ross, you're the best streamer on TikTok. And while I know that's probably not true, that is a huge, thank you to what I've just built so far. And, it gives you motivation to do it and keep on putting out good content. My content is for technically all ages. Again, the only thing I will not discuss on my streams is politics.
Right.
We won't get into that, but as you see the background, everything of mine is U of L. So I get a lot of people that come in here that aren't U of L fans. I love my Kentucky fans. I love
me.
I love all the comments and things of that nature. And I like the back and forth the back and forth banter a little bit. You know, as long as everything's kept classy and
Right.
clean and things of that nature.
Other than the way you named your stream yesterday, I mean, what was it? NCAA UK woes or something like that. I mean,
UK sadness.
yeah, UK sadness. That's what it was.
Yeah, and then whenever I do that, I am specifically poking at a certain viewership.
Oh yeah.
You know that.
But when you name your stream stuff like that, people see that, and that pulls more people in also. Because I mean, if you just name your stream Friday stream, you know, people are like, oh, nothing. But you name it something catchy, you're more likely to catch somebody to stop and watch you for a couple minutes and maybe pick up a new follower.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like when they pop in and they see the background of all the U of L stuff, then
and two and two makes sense then.
Yeah. Then it forces them to say something, even if they're not a Kentucky fan, if they're a Tennessee fan, if they're a Wyoming fan, just whatever,
or a Missouri fan.
Oh yeah, or a Missouri fan, or it prompts somebody to come in and say, all right, this guy, look at this guy,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk about my team.
Right.
So I get a lot of shout outs about other teams and that nature, and then they'll leave. So, but I encourage people to come in here, and don't just throw a comment out and leave. Let's have some.
Yeah, let's have a conversation, right?
Yeah. So it's all fun. I try to keep everything light. And just last night I had two people tell me that, man, you're the most chill dude. You come on here, you make me laugh while we're playing and everything, and and watching your streams, and that right there is just the biggest compliment that you can get.
Yeah.
And then I was approached. I won't say approached, but I got an email from an apparel company that said they work with. I have a hard time calling myself a content creator.
Well, but that's what you are.
Yeah, that's what I am. I'm just on here being me. So, about doing some apparel and things of that nature. So I designed a hat, or I designed a logo, and it. I've got hats up on there. I've got T-shirts up on there. And my mom and my brothers bought some stuff. I've got 3 hats that I ordered. So I said, you know what? I don't know if I'm ready for a merch store or not, but it didn't cost me anything.
Right.
So I decided to go ahead and run with it for right now, see what it does. And then every quarter, we're going to donate the proceeds to the Epilepsy Foundation. My daughter.
That's awesome.
She's 17. She's had epilepsy since she was about 7 years old, we found out. And hers was the photosensitive kind. So everything's fine. Everything's good. Everything's controlled under medicine. But ever since then, we've been a big part of the Epilepsy Foundation here in Louisville. So I said, okay, let's try this. Let's see if it catches. Everything's priced reasonably. I'm very transparent. I make $5 off of a hat, and I'll make $5 off of a T-shirt. And that goes right in. They mail me a check on that, and then every quarter we're going to deposit all that, and we're going to write a check, and I'll videotape it and everything, and we're going to donate it to the Gary at the American Epilepsy Kentucky Epilepsy Foundation here in Louisville. So, it's a neat way to kind of give back to that. It's also a good way to give to get the stream out there. I think it'll catch on a little bit more once I get my hats this week, and I'll start wearing them on stream. So, it's again trial and error, like most of the things are.
Kind of like we spent the last hour and a half trial and error in this audio.
Right. So, It's all. I'm having a good time with it. You know, it keeps me busy. I don't watch a lot of movies and things of that nature. So when I'm home, I want to be, interacting and doing things on here. Plus, the 53-year-old kid in me still loves to play games.
Right. And you do have the TV set up right next to you so you can watch your cards play while you're gaming.
Yeah, I've got a monster. I've got my whole setup right here in my basement. So
you just need a mini fridge. You won't even have to get up.
You're right. I've got everything set up right here. That I need to do anything I want to all day. So I actually plan my week around getting I call it my grown-up stuff done. Anything that I have other than the grocery store that I have to do, would potentially have to do on the weekends, I get done during the week. So I know, at least Sundays, I know all day I'll be able to stream. Now, when my daughter, when summer hits, she plays golf for her high school team. So that's going to take up some of my time during the week, and even some of my Saturdays. So my schedule will change as far as streaming there a little bit. But, I still work around my schedule, even my work schedule during the week and everything, so I can get on and stream at the times that I have posted. So, yeah, it's a big part of what I do. I like it. I'm going to post this on my Facebook, and I've got a lot of friends on my Facebook that used to game and things of that nature that may or may not understand this aspect of gaming and streaming.
Right.
But I'm whether they're into it or not, I don't care. It's I enjoy it, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Right. Well, speaking of your daughter, you brought her up, and you said that she had epilepsy, and you're going to donate all of your proceeds from your merch to that. Yeah. I do know, because I know you. She games with you also. Y'all stream Fortnite together. Does that bother? Does that trigger her epilepsy ever, or is she okay with the? Because a lot of the games have those warnings on them that playing this game can trigger epilepsy. How does that work with her?
Well, first of all, she has over the years she's got to the point where she's a self-advocate for herself. She knows
her limits.
Her limits. So, plus she's on daily medicine. That it would have to be a major type of a strobe situation to where it would even oversensitize her, so to speak. So generally no. She's been cleared to drive.
Okay.
So they just won't let her drive at night right now.
Okay.
Because we've got her some glasses that have the anti-glare, but when she does the light test with that, it still spikes a little bit too high. So they've not allowed her to drive at night yet.
Okay.
But she can still grow out of that. So
right.
But no, she's living with it. She's she's learning just how to deal with everything. As long as she takes, if I can get her to take her medicine
right
on time.
Well, that's with all of us.
Yeah. Without Dad getting on her, she's fine. But she's been ever since she was little, and I was playing Sniper Elite. As soon as she got up in the morning, I could hear her walk downstairs and come, and she would sit in my lap and watch me play that. So, she has progressed from the Wii to I bought her an Xbox. She commandeered my PlayStation 5. And then I have bought her a gaming laptop. And yeah, she streams. She'll get on the stream with us. She got me playing Fortnite. So after about 2-3 months of that, I said, all right, you've got me Fortnite. I'm going to get you Call of Duty, and you're going to learn and play it with us.
Right.
And she, she loves it, and it's good fun. I enjoy spending time with her that way. And then, like I say, we do golf, and she does bowling for school. So there's a lot of activities that we still do together.
That's great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close off the interview section here. Do you have anything here that you want to throw at the end? I do know you have a like a sponsorship. I don't know if it's a sponsorship, but with the computer company. Do you want to give them a plug in the interview? We post this.
Yeah.
They'll see that.
Yeah. I had my my build, my custom rigged here built with a local company here called PC Bros. They from top to bottom were really great on customizations and things that I wanted for my budget. All budgets range differently. But I took my daughter's laptop back that I bought, and I didn't buy it from them, but I took it to them to add some more space. So she's got 5 terabytes in it now, and they offered me a collab, an affiliate. So I signed up, and anybody that goes on their PCBros.com, or is it just look up PC Bros, and you can see their, I mean, they got gaming laptops, or excuse me, gaming desktops that start out about as much as your PlayStations or Xboxes will. That'll run the current games that are, you can upgrade them when the time comes. So if anybody's out there interested in getting into the gaming computer side of it, or if they need any work done on their current computers, laptops, they sell, refurbished keyboards and things of that nature out there. Just use BigRossGaming as a discount code, and you'll get a discount. These guys are real easy to work with, from whatever your budget is, from $500 to $7,000-8,000 if you want to spend it. But really good to check them out first. Or I tell you what, check them out last. Go to everybody else, then go to them last, and you'll be very impressed.
Well, that's awesome. Ross, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to interview you. I hope everything went well. You worked with me for an hour and a half trying to get audio problems fixed. We still didn't completely get fixed, but we figured a workaround. So, Ross, I appreciate it. And everybody watch coming up. I've got another interview set up for next week. I'm not going to surprise who it is yet, but I do need to talk to him and hash some things out, and hopefully we can get the whole audio thing, and maybe I can just go ahead and do the whole thing live. But Ross, thank you again. Anything you want to say to close it out?
No, thank you for the opportunity. Being the first, going back to what I said before, I never thought anybody would even watch my streams, let alone want to interview me. So, no, I think it's awesome. And we'll keep hammering down and trying to put out good content and good streams.
All right, Ross. I guess I'll catch you on the game here pretty soon. And everybody, thanks for watching, and watch for the next one.
See you guys.
Thanks, Ross.
Yes, sir.